So, this is what I've kind of learned from trees. Yeah, it's me, Jake, and I'm back again. And I know that title kind of seems weird. I'd like for you guys to actually stick with me on this one and, just let me cook. Upon my time, I do a lot of walking. I do a lot of walking, a lot of traversing. I walk several miles within a week, which is crazy because I'm still a fat jerk. But either way, the majority of losing weight is just kind of diet, I guess. I'm sorry, I'm going on a tangent. Anyway, I do a lot of walking, and I admire nature heavily. I write poetry about it, because I am a bit of an avid writer. I've been trying to get back into my hobby. I spend a lot of time observing the world, and with my time observing nature, it has left me in a position to understand exactly kind of how, nature works. We as humans tend to believe that our life is like the moment, but trees don't exactly live for the moment. They live for however long they live. And I know that does sound a bit esoteric, right? But it is the truth. You can cut down a cedared oak, right? And what you'll see from it are these rings. When dudes inspect the ages of trees, they go by the rings on the inside of the slash. So on the inside of the cut, there will be, let's say, a few hundred rings going by each one you count. This tree has lived a few hundred years, and it doesn't look much different than it did maybe 80 years ago. But guarantee that it has made its growth in such a way that it made itself spectacular. You've never heard a tree grow. You never sat there and counted it. We as humans, we collect lumber, but we also plant trees. We plant them back. Well, the responsible companies, plant them back, and we plant them back with the understanding of, oh, something will change, right? This will just restore what we've taken away. Trees take a very long time to grow and mature. Some people can cast it within, 10 years, that tree will be fine. But for a tree to actually become its finished product and have the stable strength that it takes, trees will take decades. They will take much longer than other creatures to flourish in that understanding. And just along with that process, trees have a unique way of growing. Depending on the tree, you won't find too many trees like in the same place. Like we all like to say, oh, a forest is this, and this, but certain trees grow in like different ways. I've seen palm trees. I'm in the Caribbean, so I've seen palm trees sticking out of what you would basically call a forest anyway. And that is insane to believe that palm trees, coconut trees, and shit like that can just grow in the middle of like every other tree imaginable, but it is possible. And when you see palm trees or coconut trees grow, they may be growing like groups of three. They may be growing like groups of three more often than not. Maybe there's a loner. Maybe there's like one. But that might be the end of it, realistically. Trees find their people. These trees find their people, they stick close, and they grow consistently. And I think I'd like to reflect some of that in like the process of being a human. Because as humans, we view the process as, in the next 6 months, I got to change this or this or this. And it's reflected in a lot of things, whether you're thinking of like an education or weight loss or getting money. But forget the next 6 months, man. Think about the next 6 years. To a tree, its lifespan could be a few hundred years. And it's not really a finished product until the journey is over. And as humans, this is what I'm getting at. We kind of want to treat ourselves as finished products, but the journey is not even piece of the way over, right? A couple decades ago, the average life expectancy of a human was around 75 years old. 75 years old, and most people spend the majority of their time trying to be the best they could ever be, somewhere around 20 to 40. So around 20 to 40, you're sitting there. That's a 20-year stretch. You're sitting there believing, you're treating yourself like a finished product. And a lot of adults after 40 realize they were never the finished product. They weren't done yet. You still have a lot of life left to live. You still have a lot of room to grow. And humans don't allow themselves that room to grow. Even when they're together, humans allow themselves to grow slowly and don't grow exponentially. And when they're alone, humans also allow ourselves to be consumed by the loneliness. But you leave a tree in an open field all alone, and it won't grow the tallest, but it'll grow wide, thick, and strong. And I know some weirdos are gonna be like, oh, that's us. Yeah, I find the comic relief in it. But if you've ever seen a tree in like an open field, those are some tough trees because they had no one around them. They had no trees around them, so they grew out wider and they became tougher on the exterior. And they gained attributes in a different way. Same thing with trees that grow in like groups. When you see a forest of trees together, closer, and they're working for the same resources, they're all springing higher than ever before. That's where you're going to find some of the tallest trees when there's a lot of trees. But we as humans, we take these moments of being grouped up and these moments of being isolated as such. We take the negative out of it instead of the positive, and that's something I want us to change as people. That's something I want to change within myself. That's just something I observed, from watching trees. I know again this is a bit of an abstract concept, but I do hope you learned something from my rambling. With that being said, guys, stay growing, stay being yourself, but above all else, stay on.